Alrighty, hello and welcome to the third week of the LSBA Season 8. Today we have our Week 3 battle, which will be my team, the Seattle Staraptors, against our Week 3 opponents, Dylan, who's the coach of the Dolando Donphans. So as usual, I'm just going to quickly go over my team here, and then our opponent's waiting to fight, so I'm going to try not to take too long. So let's see, let me get the rosters pulled up here just for a minute so that I can list off what Pokemon we all have. So the Donphans have the following roster. Their team is Tyranitar, Mega Altaria, Dracozolt, Excadrill, Gastrodon, Alcremie, Kartana, Donphan, Deoxys Defense, Chandelure, and Alakazam. And our team is still Dragapult, Tapu Lele, Weavile, Mega Medicham, Galarian Zapdos, Ribombee, Nidoking, Incineroar, Azulf, Regieleki, and Milotic. So just looking over my opponent's team, I chose to bring these Pokemon, for a few reasons. So I left things like Tapu Lele at home because it didn't hit anything, well, it didn't hit a whole lot of things super effectively with its stabs. Especially Psychic Stab was kind of underwhelming in this matchup. Okay, I guess I won't go into exactly what I left at home. Let's just look at what we did bring. So starting with our lead Pokemon here, our hazard of choice this week is Sticky Web with our Ribombee. As usual, typically when I'm building a team, I look at whether Sticky Webs or Stealth Rocks will be more important, and bring either Ribombee or Azulf accordingly. Against this team in particular, things like Alakazam are really fast, Kartana is very speedy, and then my opponent also has access to Tyranitar with Sand, plus Sand Rush Pokemon like Dracozolt and Excadrill, so I think that having some built-in speed control would be useful. I was originally going to run Moonblast Energy Ball for my attacking moves here over Bugbuzz Defog, but I realized that my opponent has so many things that can set Stealth Rocks up that I think it would have been foolish not to run Hazard Removal on this team. And my team only has two forms of Hazard Removal as well. I have Defog on Ribombee and Regieleki, which can learn Rapid Spin. My opponent has multiple ground types rather though, and Regieleki just crumbles under ground types. So I decided to bring Defog, because I definitely want my Sticky Web up, but it's not that important, and for this team in particular, I'd rather my opponent not just chip away at me with rocks, basically. My opponent also has something like Deoxys Defense, for example, which can also set up like spikes really easily, so I think that having hazard removal is important. U-turn is for momentum. I don't know if we'll be clicking this necessarily, and then Bug Buzz I chose over Moonblast just because it hits the things that we need to hit a little better, I think. It's super effective against Alakazam, it's super effective against Deoxys, it hits Kartana neutrally, and Kartana doesn't have very high special defense. And then super effective against T-Tar. There are a lot of things that Moonblast did super effectively as well, but I think that the specific Mons that we hit with Bug Buzz are a little more important. Like, for example, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lead matchup of Ribombee versus Deoxys, and if that happened, for example, then we definitely want to be able to Bug Buzz it, I think. Heavy duty boots, just in case we do switch out later in the match and then come back in to defog, this way we don't take a bunch of rocks damage potentially. This time we're investing in HP over special attack so that we can hopefully take a hit early on and lead Sticky Webs. We'll have to see if it's even safe to lead Ribombee since it doesn't have a Focus Sash though. So that's that. Now we can start back at the beginning of the order here. We have Noel. Oh yes, this is also the first time that I actually remembered to give my team nicknames, so hopefully everybody in the league will be happy. So Ribombee is, as always, the bus. There's a story behind that, but I won't get into it now. We have Noel the Weavile. This time I'm going with a Choice Banded set. Just looking over my opponent's team, especially Triple Axle is really spammable. My opponent doesn't really have too many good resists for this. Basically, the only resist is Chandelure, which isn't super defensive. So I figure most of the time we'll just come in and just shoot off banded triple axles, but it also gives us a little bit of extra oomph with our Ice Shard potentially, if something like Sandrush Dracozolt is running out of control. We can come in and hit it pretty hard with that. Knockoff is great. Just overall, I feel like Weavile this week, though, will be able to spam moves pretty well, so I think that the extra oomph with Choice Band is worth it over Life Orb this time around. This week, we are once again going back to Incineroar as our defensive backbone, so even though we have Milotic, we're running Milotic more offensively this week. Incineroar will be taking most of our hits if we can help it. It's definitely kind of an offensive Montu though, so we got Knockoff, Toxic, Parting Shot, Blaze Kick. Mostly we're just going to be looking to knock off items from things a lot, Toxic some of the bulkier threats like Gastrodon or Altaria potentially, and then, Parting Shot out to weaken their attackers so that our Pokemon can take more hits. Nothing too special. I'm going with Leftovers this week for passive recovery. Blaze Kick is our move. Blaze Kick. Do I want to go Blaze Kick or do I want to go? Yeah, okay, I was just trying to remember why I wanted to go physical Blaze Kick over Special Overheat. I think it's because we want to do more damage with our knockoff, and I don't need to run Flare Blitz. I value my HP preservation this match. Blaze Kick is only here for like Excadrill and Kartana basically. Kartana has good physical defense, but it's 4 times weak to fire, so Blaze Kick I think still OHKOs. It does a lot otherwise. And Excadrill, preferably we won't be in against Excadrill, but if we are, we can go for it. We're max physically defensive, and we have Intimidate, so I think we can take like an Earthquake from Excadrill if we had to, but hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Alrighty, so I skipped over. We have Demi Baba, our Mega Medicham here. Very standard set. Psychic coverage does basically nothing for us in this matchup. He has like a Dark type, which is immune to Psychic. It's not really super effective against anything, I think. Yeah, it's literally not super effective against anything. It's resisted by a bunch of things, so this week instead of running Dual Stab, we're just running dual fighting moves. Fighting's really good against this team. So we have Fake Out, we have High Jump Kick for our big power hits, we have Drain Punch for when we don't need to risk a High Jump Kick or for HP regen. And then I opted to pack a Poison Jab this week over Ice Punch, because my opponent has 2 fairies, and I want to be able to damage them well. Those being Mega Altaria and Alchemy. Technically, Ice Punch would have been good too, because like it hits Mega Altaria super effectively, and like it hits a few other things like Donphan super effectively, but honestly, I think 2 High Jump Kicks gets through some of the more physically defensive stuff, and I think Poison Jab to be able to go toe-to-toe with Alchemy will be good. So yeah, not much else to say about this set. We have Wet Boy Summer, or Milotic. I was a little conflicted on the item for this one. I went with Expert Belt just because we're going to be trying to hit things super effectively, and Expert Belt is good for doing that. Yeah, this is just a very offensively oriented Milotic. It's running almost max speed to outrun, I don't remember what my opponent has, it's base 80 speed, but basically it outspeeds that. Max special attack. I opted to go for Marvel Skill over competitive in this matchup because I don't think my opponent has anything that will like typically proc a competitive boost. My opponent doesn't have a lot of defoggers. They don't have any Intimidate, so we're going with Marvel Scale. If we can get into versus like something like Gastrodon, for example, we can maybe catch a Toxic and Hidden Power Grass it with the Expert Belt or something. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes down. Ice Beam for hitting the ground types, and Scald for Stab, of course. Ice Beam also hits things like Mega Altaria super effectively, specifically. And last but not least, we have Child Eater 2000. I decided to go a little bit cheeky this week and run Choice Scarf, Speedy Boy. Choice Scarf, Timid, and this many Speed EVs even outspeeds Excadrill under Sandrush. So we should be outspeeding everything with this. So basically Dragapult is just functioning as a cleanup clean up Revenge Killer this week. We have U-Turn for momentum. And then we're going with less powerful but more accurate moves this week. So we've got Flamethrower, Surf, and Shadow Ball. Dragon Stab doesn't do anything for us. We do want the Ghost Stab though. And then Flamethrower for things like Excadrill, Kartana, Surf for my opponent's wealth of ground types. Okay, so that is all. I'm going to let our opponent know that we're ready to battle, and we should be back here with the actual fight shortly. Alrighty, so here we go with the match. So it looks like our opponent brought Mega Altaria, Donphan, Alakazam, Alcremie, Gastrodon, and Dracozolt. I am rather pleased is a weird way to phrase it. I'm glad not to see the T-Tar combo with the Dracozolt. I don't know if he's planning to manually set Sand with something else, but I don't have to worry so much about Sand Rushers at least. Especially since Excadrill isn't here either. So looking at this setup, I don't know how much I really need to lead with Ribombee actually. I think I'm going to hold on to it in the back for more defog, defog versatility instead of trying to lead with it. So that does leave me in a little bit of a interesting situation though. I do have to figure out what I actually do want to lead though. Honestly, I don't see a good reason not to just lead Medicham. And I'll fake out, and then, depending on what my opponent leads, so I'm thinking if my opponent leads something like Dracozolt, after the fake out, I'll probably go out into, my Incineroar here to intimidate, or we'll see how it goes. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and do a power lead. We're gonna lead with our Wall Breaker and go from there. Both Incineroar and Milotic make decent, switch-ins in general. Milotic's being run offensively, but still very especially bulky. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes indeed. So we've got a Mega Showdown right off the bat. So our league rules, this is the first time that I've actually gotten to use Mega Medicham in the league. I've brought it week 1, but didn't have a chance to send it out. So our league rules say that you have to Mega Evolve the first turn that a Pokemon is on the field. So we're going to go ahead and Mega Evolve and just go for a free Fake Out. See what my opponent wants to do. He might switch into something else to take this. Like Donphan can take hits from Demi Alibaba here pretty well, but we'll see what he wants to do. He's just gonna stay in. Okay. And so I do want to just verify really quickly. I'm pretty sure that Altaria is naturally slower than Mega Medicham, but let's just check to be sure. Medicham is base 100 speed, Altaria is base 80, okay. How much does my Poison Jab do? It only does like 46 to 54%. Okay, so that's a little unfortunate. I don't want to just stay in and go for this. So I think what we do here is we probably just go into our Milotic here. I know Altaria can be run physically or specially, but just knowing my opponent as well as I do, I think that he's probably going to be specially run if I were to guess. And we have Ice Beam for something like Altaria. Oh, my opponent's got Pursued. Interesting. Okay. That did a fair chunk to us. Alrighty. So, don't have to do anything fancy here. We're just gonna straight up go for Ice Beam. No problem, no problem. What do I have to be worried? Ooh, okay. If we're gonna profit off of that, nice. So that did a nice chunk to the other dragon type on the team here. I'm just gonna take a moment. So I do have to be worried or careful with Pursuit against Dragapult potentially, but everything else can take it pretty well, I think. So this is unfortunate though, because my opponent's almost certainly going to go for Bolt Beak, and so I have to see what can actually take that. So let's see. Let's go Dracozolt. Choice Scarf, Dracozolt versus like, can Dragapult kind of take this? Bolt Beak. hustle. Let's say that I'm slower for some reason. Gonna do like 65 to 77%. Let me see how much this does to Incineroar. About the same, holy heck. Yeah, okay, so I don't know, this is a little sus, but I think that I am just going to hard switch into Dragapult here. We'll see how we go. I think we can live without it, even if it does die. Okay, it does a fairly large amount, but I think we're good. I'm actually just going to U-turn, this way we can pivot Dragapult out, and in fact my opponent is going to send in Gastrodon, so that works out well for us. Okay, versus the Gastrodon, I think my Milotic is probably just my best choice, like straight up. Let's try it out. Physically defensive versus... where's my Milotic here? HP Grass does like 72%. They kind of want to do this just so we can like fish for a Toxic too. So I'm not going to think too hard about it. Let's just go straight up into our Milotic here. And we're just going to HP Grass, easy peasy. Yeah. And what would be great is if my opponent lives this and slaps a Toxic on for a Marvel scale, but I'm not going to get too greedy. We'll see what my opponent wants to do here. One thing to note is that for sure if... Well, I think this should live. I don't know what kind of Gastrodon this has. Yeah, that lived pretty comfortably, actually. Ooh, it did Sludge Bomb. No poison, darn it. Okay, so our opponent saw that we clearly have HP Grass now. I'm actually going to go for an Ice Beam, predicting some sort of switch. Yeah, if my opponent switches into Altaria, then we won't definitely want to try and hit it with an Ice Beam. So we'll see how this goes. Here comes the Alchemy. Okay, we'll take it, we'll take it. That does a decent chunk. We don't see any leftovers, which is good. Honestly, Milotic is our most specially defensive Pokemon. Nothing else really wants to switch in, so I'm just gonna go for a Scald, I think. We're just gonna go on the offensive. 22 from a not stab attack did pretty well. So this should do about 50% more. It'll do like 30. We'll fish for a burn, see what Alchemy wants to do. I'm not too sure. Ooh, that crit's actually crit burn, ouch. Okay, that's actually really unfortunate. Ooh, my opponent has a Salic Berry. That's very interesting. Okay, so that turn went way too... I'm gonna say ouch in the chat here. Oh wait. I'm gonna say ouch, wet boy, summer, be rude. Yeah, because I think that crit was pretty substantial. My opponent read us pretty well and went for a Calm Mind boost, which would have been great if not for the fact that we crit burned them. So it's going to be faster than us after eating at Salic Berry now, so I'm just going to go for a slow flip turn. The idea here being that Alchemy, I don't think has any access to... We're still faster than it? How slow is this thing? Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, so I'm 286 speed. That's enough to speed tie or be faster. I'm thinking that the bus is probably my LVP in this matchup, so I'm just gonna go into this. I honestly didn't expect to be faster. Stored power, okay, okay. Yeah. So there's really not going to be a better opportunity than now to just go for a free Sticky Web. My opponent's gonna burn to death this turn, which works out great for us. Oh, my opponent has Recover. Okay, so we can't treat them too passively. What we can do here though is I'm just gonna U-turn back into Milotic, I think. Well, that's smart. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because, well, I don't know. I borderline should have just stayed in and bug buzzed until Rabombi went down. As is, though, we're just going to go back into my low tick here. This should be okay. It would be better if this was toxic, but I don't know. Yeah, this thing's actually kind of a problem for us. I think let's see what Weavile can do. Do a Alchemy bulky booster. Triple Axle does like 70 to 80% if it hits all of its attacks. Let's see what, like, for example, what does Medicham do? Medicham does like not that much with Poison Jab, actually, only 37 to 44. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh, this is not with huge power though. Okay, hold up. Yeah, okay, that makes a big difference. Yeah. I guess I don't necessarily want to sack off Rabombi, just because if my opponent does set up rocks with like Donphan, I want to be able to do something to it. Let's just go for a Scald and see what my opponent wants to do. But yeah, if they're just gonna Calm Mind, I have to sack something off, basically. I think my low tick is a solid option at this point. It's between my low tick or Rabombi. The problem is that I think Rabombi with Defog is potentially more useful later on. We're gonna get another crit. What Boy Summer's so rude. Okay, so we're gonna see that my opponent's going for recovers every couple turns. But yeah, I'm like pretty happy just to sit here and click Scald a bunch of times. I'm still beyond shocked that my low tick is just casually faster than this thing, even after it's a Salak Berry though. Okay, so that's the first blood of the game, so I do have to remember to track down kills. So Alchemy takes out my low tick. Alrighty, so if my low tick is faster than this, then pretty much everything on my team except Incineroar is going to be. I'm not going to risk a triple axle miss. From this range, we don't have to. I can just really comfortably go for, I think I can just really comfortably go for... Okay, let me run this calculation against Mega Altaria again. I think I didn't have... I don't think I had, yeah, I had huge power turned off when I was looking at the Altaria calculation earlier too. Okay, so we're just gonna go into Medicham here. Easy peasy. This should do plenty of damage. Alchemy, bulky booster. This is with max defense. Poison Jab does like 70%, so we're just gonna go for it. Nothing is immune to Poison Jab, so this is fun. That handily picks up the KO. Unfortunately, since we showed that off, now my opponent probably won't go into Altaria, but that's fine. Alchemy. Okay. So what we got? We have Donphan out now, the Tire. Medicham's not a great mon to go like toe-to-toe with this thing, honestly. It is unfortunate that we lost my low tick though, because my low tick would have loved to switch in here. Let's see. What does my opponent have for physical attackers left? I'm not worried about the Altaria, that's a non-issue. Dracozolt is at the point where I can fake out or I shard it. So I think this is mostly it. What does Donphan do to us after an Intimidate from Incineroar here? Offensive Spinners, Adamant max attack with Intimidate. Does like 40 to 50%. We should be faster than it, I think. So we're just gonna go for this. Switching Incineroar here, getting... Oh, especially after Sticky Webs, actually. My opponent's gonna do Play Rough. That's very cute. This thing has leftovers, so I do want to knock that off first and foremost. Let's get rid of that. It's gonna rapid spin our webs away, that's fun. At this point, let's go for a Toxic, just for more passive damage, TBH. They're gonna go for a Toxic on us too, that's fun. We're still faster. Honestly, I don't want anything to take a beefy Earthquake. Okay, so their attack's already down. I think I'm gonna Parting Shot into your Bombi, actually. Okay, this works too. Maybe not anymore. So I was gonna say, we can go into Rabombi and get our webs back up. I do kind of like that still anyways, though. Guess what's my other option? I can come in and just start spamming triple axles. Or I could go for Shadow Balls. How much HP does this have? 74? Okay, how much does, look at Dragapult versus Gastrodon. Shadow Ball only does like 20 to 30%. Ooh, yeah, that's too sketchy. Can't go for that. Let's go into Rabombi, I think. I'm just thinking, like, the ability to just, like, nullify Scarfs with this thing is too great, I think, so we're just gonna go for a Sticky Web again. Our opponent doesn't seem keen on setting up hazards of their own, which is fun. They're gonna go for Sludge Bomb there, that's a-okay. This thing has leftovers as well, we see. Okay, at minus attacks. At minus both attacks. Honestly, I feel comfortable. Okay, so this thing has minus special attack. I think Weavile can take a hit, right? It's gonna keep recovering HP back, though. Bug Buzz only does, like, not enough. Just thinking, what do we go for here? I think Rabombi's done its job. I'm just gonna go for the damage here. This is the safest way to approach this. Oh, recover though. No, don't do that. Okay. Okay, let's U-turn into Incineroar here. I need to knock the leftovers off. This thing's probably gonna recover again. Sludge Bomb, that's fun. We're already toxic, so you can't poison us again, thankfully. I'm going for the knockoff here. Get rid of that leftovers. If they want to recover, that's fun. Their special attack's looking real low now, so now I feel very comfortable going into Weavile. We see Earth Power. They probably have Water Stab. Yeah, so at this point we can pretty easily go into Weavile. My opponent has like half special attack. Weavile's not a bulky mon, but it can take like an attack from a crippled Gastrodon, I'm pretty sure. So now we're just gonna spam Triple Axle. Again, this is the exact kind of scenario why I thought that running Choice Band this week was pretty safe, just because like any of Weavile's attacks honestly do quite a bit. He's going for the Scald Burn, he gets it. Unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. We are committed to our Triple Axle life here. We're just gonna keep going for Triple Axle until we die, basically. I don't know exactly how the like Choice Band interacts with the burn. Our attack is up a little bit, but then it's halved, so whatever. We're just gonna do our best. So Weavile will take out Gastrodon here. Did we lose the second Pokemon? No, we've only lost the Milotic so far. Here comes Alakazam. It's it's not worthwhile to try and preserve Weavile at this point. We're just gonna go for triple axles. Ooh, and that does enough to Oko, nice. Even through the burn. Weavile takes out Alakazam. Here's the Dracozolt. We're gonna triple axle again. Weavile takes out Dracozolt. Here's Donphan. Okay, unless we crit, we're not gonna be able to take out the Donphan burn. I don't think so. 10, 20, not quite, yeah. That's fine. Donphan is going to get rid of the Weavile finally. So what does my opponent have left? Donphan and Altaria? Yeah, we can just go for some Mega Medicham kills to wrap the fight up. So I'm just gonna Drain Punch here. Potentially get some HP back. Get like 1% of HP, but it's fine, we'll take what we can get. Medicham takes out Donphan. And last but not least, Poison Jab should do enough to KO this. Yeah. Alrighty, GG to Dylan. That was a fun game. Lots of offense. I can't believe that Weavile took out 3 Mons after it got burned. Crazy. But yeah, that was pretty solid. The only thing that was unfortunate during the mid part of the game was that my low tick went down too early, but we were still able to utilize Parting Shot to get Gastrodon down to a point where it could come in to bully, or where Weavile could come in to bully it. Alrighty, so that wraps up week 3. We are now 3-0 with a plus, let's see, what's our differential? I don't think I went over this last week. We are 3-0 with a plus 12 differential, so that's pretty good. I don't know if that'll put us towards the top of the league. That's the the top 2 seeds with plus 10 and 9 differentials still have to fight each other. So I think we will be probably going up into the number 2 seed unless they have a really close game, but yeah. Let's look ahead to our match next week. Will be against the Mauville Manetrix with the coach Azothben, so that'll be exciting. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you back next week. Bye!